Hi, Twos, and anyone else who is watching this. Welcome back for another story time with me, Miss Meg. So you may notice a different background. Just decided to mix it up and film in my little living room today because my roommates and I just added this painting, and I wanted to show you all, friends. My roommate has been doing a lot of painting while we were all spending more time at home. You see all the colors, so it's very pretty, and it's a reminder it's really fun to paint. So I bet a lot of you have been painting at home or coloring with markers or crayons. So making art is a great way to stay busy while you're at home. Anyway, I'm just going to say I need to make this video short today, friends. So do you think I can do it? I know most of my videos are normally too long, right? So I'm actually leaving in about 10 minutes to go to play with a friend I nanny. So I need to film this quickly because I need to return the book I'm about to read to him. So for one final time, we did the tradition where I'm borrowing a book to share for these storytime videos. So anyway, I'm rushed for time, like I said, because I've just been more busy than normal this week, getting ready for school to open up again. So the school where I teach is opening again on Monday, so we're very busy this week getting everything ready and preparing for the changes to keep everybody safe. So anyway, today's book, gotta get to the story, friends. We only have 10 minutes. Today's book is another silly book because I had to keep up with the tradition of silly books. This one is really fun to read. It is called A Giraffe and a Half, written by Shel Silverstein and illustrated by him too. Have you ever heard of Shel Silverstein, friends? You probably have. He has written lots of wonderful poems and stories. You might have read The Giving Tree. So, well, first of all, if you have seen this book or read this book, A Giraffe and a Half, how about you touch your chin? Okay, so A Giraffe and a Half. Oh, by the way, some of my other favorite Shel Silverstein books, like I said, I love his poems, so definitely read his poems. They're really fun if you have not already, friends. Like, he has lots of those great collections of poems, like Where the Sidewalk Ends, and A Light in the Attic, and Falling Up, and then there's a lot of other great old stories he wrote, like The Missing Piece. The Missing Piece meets the Big O. Like I mentioned before, The Giving Tree is, of course, a classic. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, do you see this giraffe here? And what's this friend doing? Hanging from the giraffe. This looks interesting. Wow, look how long his neck is, friends. That is a very long neck, right? Do giraffes have very long necks? Yes, they do. Okay. If you had a giraffe, okay, so interesting. It looks like this friend is carrying the giraffe like a pet on a rope. So if you had a giraffe and he stretched another half, whoa, look, he stretched out. Now he has a really extra big neck. He's so big. You would have a giraffe and a half. There it is. Giraffe and a half. Then, if you put on a hat, if he put on a hat, if the giraffe put on a hat, and inside lived a rat, see the hat and the rat? Ooh, there's the rat. Then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat. If you dressed him in a suit and he looked very cute, then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat looking cute in a suit. Oh, he does look cute in that suit. Then if you glued a rose to the tip of his nose, there's the rose to the tip of his nose, You would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose. If a bumbly old bee stung him right on the knee, ouch, uh-oh. You would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee. This is already so silly, friends. That poor giraffe. Now there's a bee on his knee. What's going on, friends? Look at him. Wow. Okay, if he put on a shoe, only one shoe. That's strange, friends. Why would the giraffe only put on one shoe? Do you normally put on 2 shoes? Yes, when you put on shoes, you put one on each foot, 2 shoes. Anyway, if he put on a shoe and then stepped in some glue, see the glue there? Then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe. If you gave him a flute and he played tooty toot, you see the flute? Flute is a very pretty instrument. You would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute. Oh, and it looks like our friend here is playing a drum to go with the flute. If he used a chair to comb his hair, now friends, that is too silly. Why would he use a chair to comb his hair? Oh goodness. Then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute with a chair in his hair. Uh-oh. If he tripped on a snake who was eating some cake, a snake eating cake. That's interesting. There's the snake. Whoa, that is a big snake, friends. Whew. There's the snake eating a piece of cake. See? Then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute with a chair in his hair and a snake eating cake. If he found an old trunk and inside was a skunk, uh-oh. Skunks usually leave a bad smell. P.U. Yucky. Okay. Then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute with a chair in his hair and a snake eating cake and a skunk in a trunk. If he met a big dragon who sat in a wagon, a dragon in a wagon? Wow. Friends, that is a very, very large dragon. I do not think he is fitting in that wagon. What do you think? Look at that. Then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute with a chair in his hair and a snake eating cake and a skunk in a trunk and a dragon in a wagon. If he jumped on a bike and rode over a spike, oh wow, now he got on a bike, friends, and he rode over a spike. Uh-oh, look, he got caught on the spike. The wheel got caught. Look at that. See, there's the spike. Then you would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute with a chair in his hair and a snake eating cake and a skunk in a trunk and a dragon in a wagon and a spike in his bike. If a blubbery whale, look at that, blubbery whale, whoa, giant blubbery whale, got a hold of his tail, then what would you have? You would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute with a chair in his hair and a snake eating cake and a skunk in a trunk and a dragon in a wagon and a spike in his bike and a whale on his tail. Whoa! Uh-oh, now he fell in a hole that was dug by a mole. Yikes, there's the hole, friends. Where did he go? Where did the giraffe go? You would have a giraffe and a half with a rat in his hat, looking cute in a suit with a rose on his nose and a bee on his knee and some glue on his shoe, playing toot on a flute and a chair in his hair and a snake eating cake and a skunk in a trunk and a dragon in a wagon and a spike in his bike and a whale in his tail in a hole with a mole. But if you brought him a pole to climb out of the hole, that's a good idea. He brought him this big pole to climb out of the hole. Then the whale left his tail and went off for the male. Interesting. Now the whale is going off for the male. See? There's the male. And he gave the spiked bike to a scout on a hike. Let's see. That's interesting. Okay, so a scout on a hike. You see the scout has a banner, wearing some hiking shoes. Then he left the big dragon because his wagon was sagging. Right? That dragon was too big for that little wagon. Look, the wagon was sagging. The dragon was just flattening the wagon, making it kind of break. He was way too big for that wagon. Okay, then what happens? Oh, then he gave his chair to a tired old bear. That's nice. Now this tired old bear has a comfortable spot to sit, even with what looks like a little umbrella. That looks very comfortable under a tree. And he traded the flute to a bird for some fruit. Okay, that's a good trade. Now the bird has the pretty flute. The bird can play the flute, and the giraffe can eat fruit, an apple. Okay, interesting trade. There we go. And he told the old snake to go jump in the lake. Okay, so now the snake will go jump in the lake. And a man who bought junk bought the trunk with the skunk. Good. Get rid of that smelly skunk, right? And the trunk, that was a big trunk, friends. That needed to go. This giraffe had too many big items, big things. Then he gave the rose to a girl he chose. Okay, so that's nice. Oh, it looks like maybe a girl giraffe, it looks like. That's interesting. Okay, so he gave the rose to the girl he chose, and then the bee on his knee flew away with a flea. Okay, good. The bee is flying away with a flea. Be gone. Go away. Bee and flea, get out of here. Okay, there we go. And he put the shoe with the glue on you. Uh-oh. That's not nice. Though this friend is hidden under a big shoe with glue on it. How will that friend be able to see and walk? That is very silly, friends. Then that silly old rat ran away with his hat. Uh-oh, look at that. The rat running away with the hat. The hat is covering the rat. And he put his suit in the laundry chute. Okay, so he put the suit in the laundry chute. Now he has no more suit. It's going away to get cleaned in the laundry. And he shrank another half. Okay, so then what's left? What do we have left? What would you have? You would have a giraffe. Just a regular, plain giraffe like we started with. There's our friend again with his giraffe. Okay, friends. That is a really fun book. Let's clap for our great story, A Giraffe and a Half, written and illustrated by Shel Silverstein. Yay! Okay, I'm back. So again, this is a two-part video. Had to film it in two parts. I'm home now from nannying. I had just enough time to read the book before I had to leave. So I'm back. That was my last day of nannying, friends, before going back to school, since my school where I teach is reopening on Monday. So that was sad. Sad to end that little temporary job. It was a nice chance to really get to know one friend, one child, and just have that more personal and kind of more laid back and really just special time. It was a very special time to spend with that friend, and I bet that's how a lot of parents feel. If parents are watching, you know, that you had a special time at home with your kids that is definitely unique. And so definitely, you know, can be a little silver lining in this coronavirus situation, just the extra special time we've all had with our families, and I mean, in my case, roommates have gotten to know better, and yeah, so anyway, lots of change right now as we're reopening school, and just change, you know, is always tough, but it's just part of life, so gotta do it, gotta just move on, right, and just try to go with the flow. Anyway, I am here for the traditional endings of these Storytime videos, our traditions. So sharing face masks seems to be a bit of a tradition. So good timing. I just got new face masks in the mail. Actually, when I got home from my nannying, I had face masks in the mail too from my dad. So that was nice. He just saw some cool homemade face masks in Rhode Island, where he lives, where I grew up. And so the day he saw them, he was sending lots of photos, lots of options to me and my sister and some other people. And so he got a bunch of masks, and that was really nice. So thanks, Dad. I know he's probably watching because I have been sharing these videos with my family. Okay, anyway. So this is one. Here we go. Friends, I will say this is very comfortable, so I might actually wear these at school and then wash them. So any mask we wear at school, we're going to be washing every night. So what do you see? Do you see the lobsters? Lobsters. I see some starfish. More starfish over here. And I see some shells. So this is really fun. Very nice and summery, and makes me think of the beach and Rhode Island and New England in general. So anyway, that's a fun one. Speaking of New England, here's my next mask. Let's see. Oh, and these are cool masks, friends, because they're the kind that you can slip in another layer for extra safety if you want to do that. So that's cool. Okay. Here we go. What do you see? Oh, and it's very adjustable. That's cool. You can really make it bigger to fit your face or smaller. Anyway, what do you see? Red Sox. Go Boston Red Sox. So this is a fun one too. All right, friends, I could just keep talking in the mask to go with the spirit of getting comfortable with teachers wearing masks at school. But am I at school right now? No, I am just at home, so I'm going to take it off. There we go, right? Why wear a mask if you do not need to? It's good to breathe or breathe normally. Get that, you know, fresh air or just open air. Anyway, you know what I mean, friends. Okay, so what else is what other closing traditions do we have? Can you think of what else I normally do at the end of my Storytime videos? What about this? Do you recognize? Of course you do. I've done this in all but one video so far. The shaker from Puerto Rico. Yay! Okay, that's fun, friends. There are lots of fun, different ways you can use shaker, so I could have kept going, but I will stop there. So that's fun. And then also, I'm trying to think if I have any other announcements before the last thing we do, the virtual hug. Oh yes, I do have an announcement. I wanted to let everybody know that I've decided I've just been having so much fun doing these storytime videos that even though I'm going back to school, I know not everybody everywhere is going back to school, so I just thought it'd be fun to keep making storytime videos because I actually realized that I have a lot of Pete the Cat books. I know my Two's friends. I know you, Two's friends, love Pete the Cat stories. I love Pete the Cat stories. And I have a bunch of Pete the Cat stories. So the whole time I've been doing these videos, I never read a Pete the Cat story because I started the really awesome tradition of borrowing books from the child I nannied. So anyway, point is, I think I will read a bunch of, or not a ton, but you know, a few of my favorite Pete the Cat stories for a few videos, and I'm just going to keep making these videos. You know, why not, right? It's kind of a new hobby. This has been the past few months has just been a great chance to just work on old hobbies, make, you know, new hobbies. So that's my announcement. These storytime videos are going to continue for fun. Yay! Okay, and then my virtual hug. Here we go. I'll do just one from me. Yay, virtual hug. And then, of course, Ollie. Doo-doo-doo. Yay, Ollie. And Llama Llama. Doo-doo-doo. Llama Llama. And our friend Earthy. Reminding you, always take care of the earth, friends. Always recycle and do not waste water and try to limit your use of one-time use items and basically do whatever you can to help the earth and help everybody on our awesome planet. Okay, so goodbye from all of us. Here's one more virtual hug, friends. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, yay! Bye, friends. See you on the next video. Cool. Maybe I should say what YouTubers say and say, put in the comments any suggestions you have for books that you like. So, of course, I do not have, you know, a ton of books, but now that I'm going back to school, I have more books that are in my classroom that I can read for these videos. So anyway, if you want to, just suggest in the comments any of your favorite books, your favorite children's books. And yeah, okay, bye.